We're here today with the legendary Gerald Casale from DEVO. He'll be at the Dallas Video Fest here coming up September 28th and 29th. He's receiving the Ernie Kovacs Award, and they're going to be screening the brand new DEVO documentary. Jerry, how are you today?
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Well, Jerry, you're coming to the Dallas Video Fest here September 28th and the 29th. I know you're going to be showing the new DEVO documentary. Can you tell the listeners a bit about the new film?
Well, it's hard to take 50 years of something as multi-layered as DEVO and reduce it, condense it to an hour and a half. So I think they did a pretty good job of that. It becomes kind of like the Cliff's Notes of DEVO.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely excited for it. I know it was directed by Chris Smith, and he did American Movie. That's one of my favorite documentaries, and I know the film was at Sundance, and it's on the festival circuit now, but do you know, will the listeners maybe have a chance to stream it or purchase it soon?
You know, I think they're finalizing details of a sale, that'll have its own protocols about when it's available to the public and theatrical distribution and streaming. It's all about to happen.
Excellent. Yeah, it's great that this has come together. And, DEVO was the kind of band that you probably could have done a documentary, 10 years in, 20 years in, but it seems like as time goes on, there's still so much more you could cram in there.
Yeah. Yeah. My idea always was to go out to maybe 6 directors, including great people like Morgan Neville, and let them just each do their take on DEVO. So it's like Rashomon, where you'd go, wait a minute, which of these is true? Because they could have all used different interviews, different footage, different conclusions, and each thing would be at least partially true. And it would just leave the audience looking at the skew going, wait a minute. But that's the nature of reality. That's actuality.
And also, exciting news, you're going to be receiving the Ernie Kovacs Award.
Yeah.
I know he was a major influence on television, and DEVO obviously did the same for music. And, the music videos you did for not just DEVO, but all the other bands. And it makes sense that you'd be receiving this award here. Oh,
yeah. It totally makes sense. I'm so glad that Ernie is getting the recognition he deserves here, because so many pioneers like Ernie Kovacs get buried and nobody understands how important they were or how, inspirational they were. And he, like you said, he absolutely revolutionized actually sketch comedy and television in a way that's so DEVO, so in our wheelhouse, so in our aesthetic realm. We resonated with him. I certainly did. It changed, I think it was 12 when I first saw him, and it definitely made this life-changing impression in my head. And I remember laughing so hard at some of the sketches, and particularly, of course, the Nairobi Trio, where they were, using a piece of music that I didn't even understand was 280 years old, right? Classical music.
Sure.
Only later in life did I start to put all the pieces together and realize just how smart it was. So he was dabbling in absurdity, almost like Dadaism, way before people like Andy Kaufman. I don't think you could have Andy Kaufman or the shows that came like 10 years after Ernie on television without Ernie Kovacs.
Well, and of course, DEVO was such a visual band, and you were, of course, a big part of that. It kind of seemed like the same thing. You guys were maybe artists who happened to be musicians rather than musicians that happen to be artists, if that makes sense.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Well, can you talk a bit about, I guess, your musical influences? I know the way you guys broke down songs and kind of reconstructed them, I guess. I mean, you really created a new style, a new genre, really, of music.
Yeah, I mean, we were just following our creative impulses. And we were original. We weren't afraid to be original. As a matter of fact, we kind of shunned anything that was derivative. That's how DEVO musically got going. I mean, DEVO started as a graphic art movement and literary kind of movement, short stories, poems, and it morphed into like a musical application. And it was fueled by this meta view of the world of an alternative reality, de-evolution, which we thought better explained what we were experiencing than evolution. And it was tongue in cheek, but we were quite serious about the satirical aspects of it.
And it does seem like, to me anyway, there were always sort of two camps when it came to Devo. The people who knew your music and, the innovative stuff you were doing, and then the other people, I guess, who knew you as the whip it guys. I mean, was that tough for you or discouraging at all to know that these people would maybe never make it past that?
At first it was, when you start and you're this cult band that really has passion about what you think and why you're doing what you're doing, you want to communicate it. That's why you're on stage. You want to tell the world what you think and have them know it too. But I remember that when I was grousing about that to someone, they reminded me of a old Bob Dylan interview that then they showed me a clip of, where some big New York, it could have been the New York Times, it's on camera, and they're asking him about how disappointed is he that people don't even know what his song Like a Rolling Stone is about, even though it's a hit on the radio. And he says, because he had been at it for years at that point, he says, "I'm glad they don't understand, because it wouldn't be a hit if they did." So he understood that to reach people, you almost have to give up control.
Well, it does seem nowadays that the world is finally realizing, I guess, the influence you had on music and giving you the respect you deserve. I mean, it has been happening over the years, but I think now you see the younger generations that really think kind of get to Devo and what you guys were up to.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, to get this, senior citizen recognition, because I think the world has devolved. De-evolution's real, and the new generations know that, and they discovered us on the internet. They never bought our records, they never saw us live. They discovered us, and they just accept it. It's not polarizing or controversial, like it was in 1978 and 1980. And they just go, "Oh yeah, de-evolution, of course." So it's kind of funny.
Well, I know Devo has been playing here from time to time. What's the status now? Are you and the other guys working on anything, or is everything still on good terms, I guess?
Well, I mean, we did play shows in 2023, which were great. That's what I love doing. And finally, Mark Mothersbaugh agreed to it. And he's usually the person who is, obstructing Devo activity. But in 2025, we are definitely playing shows again.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, and I know you've released some solo stuff over the years too.
Whenever I can, yeah.
Yeah, the Invisible Man EP, I know most recently. Is there anything as far as solo stuff for you as music coming up?
Oh, I've been working on actually a full vinyl LP worth of music, and it's all based on a concept called Wetiko, Wetiko. People can look it up. I won't bend your ear with it, but once you read about what Wetiko is, you'll go, "Oh, of course the guy from Devo would embrace this and use it as a basis for a new body of work."
Yeah, that is one thing I loved about you guys. You always seem to pop up in places you didn't expect. A lot of soundtracks I remember as a kid, like Dr. Detroit and, Revenge of the Nerds. And there was just so much that you guys were doing outside of the albums that it was almost hard to keep track of it all.
Well, I wish we'd done even more, but we usually didn't get the opportunities, like because we were controversial at the time and because a lot of people didn't know what to make of Devo, we didn't fit in with the kind of mainstream cliches that were going on. So usually, major films, producers, directors went to, mainstream kind of groups for music for films and not Devo. It's too bad.
I know there's been a few different compilations put out over the years. Do you know if there will be like a definitive, maybe a box set, or is there like a release that you could point to that says this has most of the stuff you're looking?
Last year it came out. Yeah, last year a really great box set came out. We were heavily involved in the approvals and the selections, the artwork. Rhino Records put out the 50th anniversary Devo box set.
Okay.
I know it's just a limited edition, and probably it was gone the moment it was released. I know there's less expensive versions of it, on CD and things you can download, but the whole package was beautiful. And I wish they had, I wish they'd pressed more. I wish they had, produced more volume to the set.
Sure. Well, Jerry, again, you'll be at the Dallas Video Fest here coming up September 28th and 29th. You mentioned the album you're working on. Is there anything else maybe we should be watching out for?
Let's see. Well, yeah, we're about to kind of shore up our YouTube channel and really make it robust with new releases and new material. But what we're going to do is premiere all these film restorations of our early videos. They were all shot. They weren't videos. They were all shot on film, 16 millimeter film. Like the first 10 Devo quote music videos were films. And, there's something special about the film medium, and a great preservationist, restoration maven, Peter Conheim, came and got all of our original material and the outtakes and the original negatives, and he restored them so that they look like they did when they were made, 40 years ago.
Okay.
And we're going to premiere them on the YouTube channel with us talking to you and answering fan questions and, name checking the people's questions that we select. So there'll be something actually informative and entertaining to watch. That's going to come up soon.
Wonderful. And that's all on the YouTube page there. So,
Devo's YouTube channel. Yeah.
Excellent. I'm super excited about the documentary and the album and the YouTube stuff. You got so much cool stuff coming up here. And again, it's been an honor speaking with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And again, that was the one and only Gerald Casale from DEVO. The new DEVO documentary is coming out now. It's going to be screened at the Dallas Video Fest, September 28th and the 29th. And also stay tuned to DEVO's YouTube page. A lot of great stuff coming up there as well.